This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Abstract. Due to the confusion between leadership and education management, most school managers' leaders cannot seem to define what education management is, making it extremely difficult to eradicate the confusion between the three concepts. This necessitates that school managers understand what education management entails. This paper, therefore, explores the most fundamental components of educational management, which help determine what educational management is via scrutinizing how education management has transformed over the years and discussing the impact of education management in schools. This will pave the way for an in-depth understanding of educational management and eradicate confusion between different concepts related to education management. Introduction. The principal purpose of education is to develop students' capacities and potential. As a field of practice, Bush and Glover indicate that education management focuses on how education managers coordinate the institution's activities, operations, to ensure effectiveness and efficiency in meeting the goals set, capacity development. Education management overlaps with administration and leadership concepts. Additionally, Bush notes that the term management is commonly used in Britain and Europe, while in Canada and the United States, the term administration is preferred. This has led to competing education management definitions and understanding. As a result, most school leaders have difficulty balancing school operations, management, leadership, staff, student performance improvement, and administration or lower-order duties. Therefore, this paper seeks to conceptualize education management, or, rather, find out what it is and its impacts on schools. This will help school leaders understand the context of education management and avoid confusion between administration, management, and leadership. Background. Basically, managers are involved in leading, organizing, planning, and controlling educational institutions. This explains why education management overlaps with leadership. Education managers must incorporate managerial leadership. As Sharma notes, managerial leadership focuses on tasks, functions, and building rational behavior within the organization. This shows that managerial leadership assists in successfully managing activities, showing the inseparability of leadership and education management. Unfortunately, the managerial leadership model in educational management is normative, outlining how persons in schools ought to behave and defining leadership by how effective organizations are. These formal education managerial leadership models have significant weaknesses. They focus on the entire institution and underestimate individual contributions, exhibit a decision-making process with difficulties, managers cannot substantiate the choices made, and power is concentrated at the apex. Principals have all the power, top-down or one-way leadership. Automatically, this hinders organizational efforts and explains the confusion existing between leadership and education management. As Ciulla notes, the confusion can only be eradicated by conceptualizing education management, determining what educational management is, and how it has impacted schools. This will help leaders operate within the educational management concepts and eradicate confusion. History. Sharma notes that during and before the 1800s, education management was unskilled, managed by the same people who governed communities. For instance, in the United States, the school system was under a district agent who oversaw all managerial and administrative tasks. During that time, critics argued that education was overly bookish and could not cater to varied talents. This is because education fell short of the expected quality. There were no trained teachers and no standard methods for storing information. This gave rise to the need for practical managerial skills. At first, preachers and local businessmen took over schools and used unsophisticated skills to run them, but in the 1900s, schools became more bureaucratic, thus requiring unavailable administrative skills. It became clear that training in educational management was needed, and education management first evolved as an educational topic at Columbia University, United States. The focus was on educational controls, such as the functions of different individuals and schools, among others. Still, with time, management principles in commerce and industry were adopted by the management education system. This marked the evolution of educational management theory, giving rise to conceptual frameworks and theoretical knowledge needed for managing schools. The 21st century has now seen practitioners and theorists develop managerial models that meet the specific needs of educational institutions, and educational management is now a conventional field governed by research and theories. Example of educational management. The impact of educational management can be well elaborated by research conducted by Poster in the Center for Study of Comprehensive Schools. Most school managers attested that education management has been fundamental in managing staff, technological changes, conflicting viewpoints existing between teachers and students, available resources, and changes in the market, education quality and standards. Additionally, most attested that educational management concepts enabled them to plan, control, and organize school operations. As a result, most managers acknowledged that their schools had made significant improvements towards ensuring that students had a firm basis in life, had endowed facilities, well-trained teachers, and offered broader education curriculums. This indicates that education management has managed to turn around schools, ensure that school operations are well aligned to address the school's needs at large. Conclusion of educational management. Basically, what we can learn is that educational management has changed the facet of schools from unproductive, disorganized schools, poor quality of education, and improper information storage, to productive, organized schools, staff management, and talent management. As we can see, this is because education management has enabled school managers to plan, control, lead, and organize school operations for the purpose of ensuring that students' potential and capacities are developed. This is because educational management functions form the basis of all school operations executed by school managers. We can therefore say that the fundamental managerial components, planning, controlling, organizing, and leading, form the basis of education management. Discussion. Regarding educational management, Wenkel indicates that school managers are multifunctional and thus need to maintain total quality management, develop staff performance appraisal schemes, tackle job satisfaction, occupational stress, and coping actions, and manage time effectively. This necessitates proper planning, defining goals and developing plans, strategies for achieving them, of the school's operations, a clear indication of why planning is outlined as a significant managerial component in the sample case. Regarding capacity development, managers are expected to adopt a developmental skill approach where training is undertaken at a personal and team level, technical assistance is offered to students undertaking projects, and the school networks with research institutions and other educational institutions. For these reasons, school managers are expected to lead, motivate subordinates, teams, individuals as they work, and organize or distribute tasks for effective capacity building. Additionally, capacity development is a long-term process that requires evaluation and monitoring. This requires proper controlling or monitoring of performances, comparing performance to the expected standards, and coming up with corrective measures. Cumulatively, we can now say that education management is planning, controlling, organizing, and leading school operations to build capacity and address the needs of the school at large. As we can see from the case study sample, the progress made in schools, capacity building, and addressing the school needs effectively can all be attributed to proper planning, organizing, leading, and controlling school operations. Did you like this Importance of Educational Management sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the database of academic paper examples at ivpanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs.